Hello. This video is going to be a little different, non-scripted and such. I want to talk about Destiny builds. Specifically, I didn't want to talk about a specific build or top 10 builds during end of service to smash Pantheon or whatever. I just wanted to talk about how to tell if your build is fine for what you want, or how to make your own, and what the bases are for those. Because if you go around YouTube, you're probably gonna see like this warlock build is insane, this titan build crushes everything, hunter 5 million damage in one single shot. They're all valid. Like, if you wanna get those builds, that are great. Like, for example, this build is a variation of a Drengar build I've seen, point contact Drengar build I've seen from another YouTuber, but I've kind of modified it to my taste also because I love the threat level I got, and it's fine. It's fine, but I would never bring this, for example, to Pantheon. I would never bring this to a raid because of something called the balance between neutral game and damage. Like, builds in Destiny have these two parameters. They have neutral game, and damage. If you go, for example, here, this build is probably the perfect example of it. Why is this missing? I don't want to talk about it. This build is perfect because it encompasses pretty much what I mean about neutral game and damage. Everything in my build is just damage. Complete that. This Study the Eternal Warrior is damage. Eternal Warrior doesn't let me, like, I don't need to put the surges because I got Eternal Warrior. It gives me power. Maybe I should run weapon fonts instead, but I don't wanna. Doom Petition and Embraced Entity, these are for the Tablet of Ruin. Tablet of Ruin, full damage. Complete, another damage. This is when I get other titans that give me ball charge. And also the abilities, this is just more damage, except Consecration, Knockout, and Kvastov. These three elements are the only neutral game my build needs. Neutral game meaning, what happens when there's no boss to shoot, you don't need to do damage, you're just doing mechanics. During neutral, everything works. All of the builds work, especially like this, oh my god, insane 1 million kill build. It works because it does. Because you get like 1 billion kills and there's no ads in place. This one, Stasis. Stasis Hollow the Storm, now that it's been re-enabled again. I need to swap this out for something else, but these two could work in neutral. But the problem is, when the neutral is over and I need to get damage, I cannot rely on just Icebreaker. I need to have something ready. And also, during neutral, I might have to do mechanics. What happens if I do mechanics, but I'm stuck in crystals? Or all the crystals I make my teammates cannot go through the door because it's full of crystals, or some shit like that. Or maybe I kill an ad by accident with the insane kill build. That is why this one is it's just enough. It is just enough neutral to get all the damage you can on the boss when it's time to do it. And there are weapons, there are abilities, for example, Knockout Consecration. It's cool because you get Consecration, you get the triple stack with Frenzy Blade, that's fine. You consecrate the room, and then you do the mechanic. If you don't have Consecration, you can just punch people with Knockout and get your health back, while you shoot them with Kvastov. Kvastov is nice because it's got the chaining mechanic. And this is specifically good for most raid encounters. I don't think there's a single raid encounter this specific build doesn't work on, but this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're choosing a build, you should be able to recognize when the neutral game of the build is too much involved, and you might be missing things. Like, you might be missing damage, you might be missing awareness. Like, while you're doing your combo, you might not be aware of your surroundings. For example, I showed to a warlock friend a build that was snap into healing nade with the Dawn Chorus. So basically, she would get the snap every single time she snapped a group of people, and that was good enough for strikes, for normal content, portal content, and that was the build that was solely focused on normal game, neutral game. But I didn't realize that the fact that the ignitions were doing all the work, that the neutral game of that build was uninvolved enough for her to just turn around and do the encounter mechanics while she was just healing herself up while people were just exploding around her. And she had space in the build to just do damage because she didn't need weapons, she didn't need slots occupied by the build, by the stuff that she needs for the build. For example, Insurrection Prime. Insurrection Prime is the last boss of the latest Pantheon route that came out, and Insurrection Prime is a pretty uninvolved boss. There's no one to kill unless you're running into snipers, which I remember back in the day it would always happen that a sniper from downtown would snipe you, but it never happens now for some reason. The only two things you gotta kill are super high health, and so you can just use your special weapon or your heavy weapon on it, and you get so much ammo now for the new mechanics that it doesn't matter if you don't have ammo for the boss. Also, this is why I like Kostov, because if I run out of ammo, I can just shoot the loot, the little bricks that lay around, and I'm back to full. I'm back to fighting. So to summarize, I understand that you make a build, you could create a build yourself, you could copy a build from anyone else. I don't care where you get it, honestly, because most of the time the builds you copy from other people, they're always the funniest ones, because they are always super good, super well done and shit. And then you try to bring that to a raid and it just doesn't work, and you get frustrated because there's just not enough enemies to kill, or when you try to kill enemies with it, you don't have the right setup, because this is not a battleground. You don't have 70,000 enemies running at you. You got like 3 people, and they're all yellow bars, and you cannot one-shot them. Also, armor sets, they're not that important, especially in the raid content. 99% of people do. If you're doing duo, solo, trio content, flawless content, you might want to think about those. You might want to think about the squeezing the little advantages you can from build crafting. But if you're doing 6-man content on normal difficulty, you don't really have to think about that too much. If you really have problems with something, there's usually an armor perk you can equip to fix that problem. For example, if you're having trouble staying alive, you can just go Smoke Jumper, or you can just go another damage reduction. I think the Dreaming City one is funny because it's like 999 stacks, and then you get something like 20% damage reduction, I don't remember. And if you're having trouble with ammo, for example, they're about to nerf. What is it? They're about to nerf Truth. They're about to remove some ammo from Truth. Truth is super good in LFG content because it's got high DPS thanks to the Catalyst still having it got down. But because it has a really nice DPS, they're nerfing the ammo count. I think it's 3 plus 11, 14. I think they're gonna remove 1 mag, so -3. It's gonna be 11 total. And if you're running out of ammo, you just run King's Fall. The King's Fall 2-piece gives you ammo on high tier enemy kill, a lot of ammo progress, and high tier enemies, I believe it's orange up. It's not yellow up, it's orange up. And if you're running raid encounters, there's plenty to kill. Yeah, this video was just for returning players and new players that wanted to get into raiding. Especially, I will show this video to some friends that wanted to play, that are also returning players and new players. So that's it. Have a good one. Goodbye.